So you might have heard of bilateral eye movements from Andrew Huberman.
There's a process called eye movement desensitization reprocessing, which it looks crazy, but I'll do it since I'm the one talking about it. Basically, moving the eyes from side to side like this has been shown to reduce the activity of the amygdala, one of the primary threat detection fear centers in the brain. When I first heard about this stuff, I thought it was crazy. I thought someone crazy made this up. There's no neuroscience to support that. But actually, there's some imaging studies to support that eye movements of that sort actually do suppress the amygdala, make people feel calmer, less fearful.
If you're wondering if you can use the same technique to fall asleep or to get better sleep, I'll share some ways that I use it. So the first way I use bilateral eye movements is to fall asleep. I close my eyes and I will do bursts of EMs. Might do 20 seconds to start with. I might take a break for 20 seconds and then do another 20 seconds. And then sometimes that's enough to calm me down, and then I just stop doing it and I will fall asleep in the next few minutes. Very often we don't even notice when we fall asleep. So sometimes I just do it to calm myself down, and that's good enough. Sometimes if I'm a bit hyped or overthinking, then what I'll do is do about 20 seconds of EMs, and then I'll focus on my breath for maybe 20 seconds, and I'll come back to EMs, and I will alternate like that until I fall asleep, or until I'm calm, and then I will stop, and then eventually I will fall asleep naturally. If I don't fall asleep after 5-10 minutes, then I'll just do another sequence of EMs and mindfulness, like watching your breath, for example. So typically that's good enough, and that will make me fall asleep. Another way to use EMs is if you wake up in the middle of the night. So that's a bit harder, but again, I use the same two things. So either I do EMs to calm myself down, or I alternate between EMs and focusing on my breath. So it doesn't work all the time, but sometimes it works, and when it does, it's great. So if the main issue in falling asleep is caffeine, which is a big thing, then you can use EM to change habits, and that's what I've used. I've completely cut caffeine of my life, and I've used the app that I've created called Quiet Hamster. One thing that I've started to do is to try to find out why I wake up. So very often for me, I'm too hot or too cold. That's what I've noticed. So that's something that you can try to pay attention why you wake up, and then, temperature wise, you have to adjust either the blankets or the temperature of the room. So noticing why you wake up, is it because you have some aches or too hot, too cold? Now, caffeine is a big problem. I've cut down actually caffeine completely out of my life. It was hard, was somehow addicted to it, or I believed I was, but I sleep so much better now compared to before. And that's something that you can use bilateral eye movements if you have urges of having a coffee, having something instead of the coffee. Like a herbal tea is a great alternative that doesn't have caffeine or sugar. So very often when we feel stressed, we go to our habits like drinking coffee. And the problem with coffee is that it's a stimulant, so it's going to stress us out. And I've noticed that I'm much more relaxed than before. So just doing EMs and mindfulness is a great way to go after your cravings and delay it or change some habits. Of course, it will take time, but over time, that's what I've managed to do. There is something else that I've done is called the Buteyko technique. So it's breathing through your nose. I've taken a small course, and by taping your mouth, it's very weird to do, but taping your mouth with some surgical tape, it will force your mouth to stay closed, and then it will force you to breathe through your nose. The first time I did it, I felt so much better. The rest was so much better. Now I basically sleep with my mouth closed. I don't drool like I used to, so that's something that I've managed to do, and that helps a lot. So there are multiple things you can do. Of course, there are lots of the classical tips of having a dark room and many other tricks. You can go on Google or YouTube and find more. But in terms of overthinking and stress, both EMs and mindfulness has helped me to fall asleep, to get back to sleep if I wake up in the middle of the night, and to change some habits like eliminating caffeine from my diet.